Hey y'all, long time no see. As you can hear, yes, we're still dealing with the sickness, still got the congested sound, so forgive my voice throughout this entire video. But I am running out today. I needed to stop back by the grocery store and get some fresh produce, but wanted to stop here at Starbucks first and get some coffee. So I'm gonna try and see if I can get out today and maybe go to a thrift store or something. Just again, we've been stuck in the house for nearly 3 weeks. So wanted to try to do a little bit today. I'm finding that, we still have the lingering cough, but I find that I'm still dealing with the exhaustion too. Like I get out, we went yesterday to Sam's Club, and y'all, Sam's Club in and of itself is exhausting. But by the time me and my daughter got home, I needed a nap. So we'll see what happens today. I've got to run a few errands. I need to go to Kroger and I got to go to Lowe's. So we'll see how I feel after that and see if we're up to maybe an antique store or a thrift store. So I don't know what this is going to turn into. So we're going to call this a vlog because I really don't know what I'm going to get into today. But I wanted to show my face, and I've missed my besties. So I wanted to just pop in and say hey to y'all. But let's get this coffee and see if that invigorates me and gets me ready to go do something today. Oh, and so then I also didn't tell you guys. So the coffee of the day. Toasted coconut latte. I have to say, it tastes like summer vacation in a cup, which after being sick for 3 weeks, it's kind of a welcome relief. It's very good though. I have to say it's very good. They had the spring flavors out too with the matchas and lavender, and now I'm going to bring you along this spring as I'm planting my garden, and I grow lavender and I love it. I love the smell of it, but I have never been one of those people who can eat it or drink it. It just tastes too perfumey to me. I love to smell it. I have dried lavender, I do that in my garden in the season, and I'll cut it and I'll dry it, and I love it in my house and I love the smell of it. But the flavor of it, I am not I call it a perfume soap eater. I can't do it, y'all. But those of you who do, more power to you. I think it's great. It won't be me. So they had the matcha lavender, and I was just like, two things, no, I can't do that. So toasted coconut it was, and it's very good. Am I the only one that brings their own stuff so we know exactly what to buy? LED Edison daylight. All right, y'all. So I just got out of Lowe's and I picked up two things. So I'm needing to replace light bulbs at our in our kitchen, and we have the hanging chandeliers, and so I normally put in the daylight LED bulbs, right? But I saw something in there while I was shopping, and it made me scratch my head, and I'm kind of wondering if I want to try this. So I got one. So it's these flickering flame bulbs. They didn't have any like going, sometimes when you go down those aisles, they have bulbs going so that you can actually kind of see what they look like. So I saw this and I was like, I wonder what that would be like in our chandelier. I think it'd be really cool, but again, I couldn't see what it looked like, if it looks like a real candle flickering or what. And then I also don't know how much light it's going to put off. So again, we use daylight bulbs in our house, so I don't know what this is going to be like. So I just got one just to see, first of all, what it looks like. If it looks really bad, like a bad Christmas light, then obviously I won't use it, and then I'll bring it back. But if it looks decent, then I'll probably have to go buy, I think there's 6 bulbs in that chandelier, 5 or 6. I'd have to go buy more and look and see how much light it puts out, and I have to look at it at night and see, you know, if it's going to be something. But I thought that was very interesting. And I had seen, you know, other people's houses, primitive houses that had candles, you know, and they changed out their light bulbs for these, and I was like, let's try that and see what happens. So we'll experiment with that. I'll bring you guys along on that journey, but hey, it's something new. Thought maybe we can incorporate it. We'll see what happens. But got Lowe's down. Now I need to go to Kroger. Okay, y'all, I am just sitting out here in the Kroger parking lot. I just loaded my groceries in the back, and I just had the weirdest experience. And I hate to be this person. In fact, I don't. It takes a lot for me to complain or say something, because I have worked in the service industry. I've worked in retail, so I know that there's a lot of Karens out there. So I typically do not say anything. But I just had the most awkward encounter with an employee at Kroger. I was in the produce, and you guys saw my buggy. I don't know about y'all, but I've said this so many times on this channel. We live a thrifting lifestyle. We have a very small income, so we try to be good stewards of the money that we have. And one of the ways that I do that with groceries is I buy markdown items. I'm able to get a lot of fresh produce that way. So I do love Kroger. We come to Kroger quite a bit for their markdowns. Well, today I had a huge success, and I was literally clearing out shelves. I was taking every single markdown item. Well, I had an employee come up to my buggy and was going through my buggy. And I had stepped away from my buggy, like I was within 5 feet of my buggy, y'all. I had pushed it down because there was other people in the area, so I was going through a refrigerator, so I moved my buggy down. Again, I was within 5 feet. I could almost touch my buggy. I had my coffee in the front, you know, with the cart where the babies go. But I was in the refrigerator going through, clearing out some more, and the employee came up to my buggy, put her hands on like she was going to walk away with my buggy right in front of my coffee, and was going through my stuff. So I walked up, I said, "Excuse me, ma'am." And she just turned around and looked at me. She didn't say, "Oh, I'm sorry, excuse me, I didn't realize," nothing. She just looked at me and walked away. And I stood there dumbfounded for just a second. I was like, what is happening? So I took my buggy and I quickly walked away, and I got around the corner so I can get out of the area, and I'm like, am I doing something wrong? Is there like a limitation, like you can only buy 5 items? Or I've never had that happen to me before, guys. Like we buy markdowns, you know, weekly. So I have never had an issue with, you know, if there's 10 items on the shelf and you take all 10, that they say something to you. Now I know in some of the parts of the store, like if you buy soda or something like that, it'll say on there, you know, you can only buy 3 cases or whatever. But I have never seen any kind of notices in the produce section, like you can only buy 5 salads. So I've just never had that happen where they would go through my buggy. But then the interaction where she didn't like apologize and say, "Oh, I'm so sorry," you know, I thought, you know, maybe she thought that the cart was banded or something. But if I came up to it, my coffee was still sitting there. If I came up and said, "Oh, excuse me, ma'am, you know, this is my buggy," wouldn't you say, "Oh, I'm sorry," you know, acknowledge it? She said nothing. She just walked away. And I'm like, okay. So yeah, I mean, I still bought, and I'm going to show you guys at my grocery haul. I spent $50, but we've got so much vegetables, and you know, my family, you know, we have been on a health journey, starting last June, and I've lost 60 pounds. So one of the ways that we did that was lifestyle changes, and we are trying to incorporate more fresh produce and eating salads and those kind of things. And I love eating raw vegetables with hummus. That's like one of my go-to snacks. So yesterday when we went to Sam's or Costco, I bought individual packs of hummus, and I love to eat, you know, broccoli and carrots and stuff like that with it. So we bought some of that. But we did buy salad kits, and that's what we'll have. And I usually try to incorporate a salad in at least 1 meal a day, but sometimes we have them for 2 meals a day. And sometimes, honestly, if I really dress up a salad, you know, add chicken or steak or something to it, that can be a meal in itself. Add beans. So we do that a lot as well. But I just wanted to, I guess, breathe a little bit on that. You know, I'm sure I'm going to get some comments like that I handled it wrong, or I said something, or I should have done something. But I'm talking to you guys like you guys are my girlfriends, and we're sitting in my house drinking some coffee, and this is what I would say. But I was so just flabbergasted by it. I've just never had something like that happen before. And yeah, so that was my experience in Kroger, and who knows? I don't know. I don't know. All right, y'all. So I decided I needed to pop into the local antique mall. So I'm back at the Stewart's Draft Antique Mall. Let's see what they have today. So I haven't been in this antique mall since before Christmas, but this is the booth that I showed you guys. This was my favorite booth. I love this booth. I always come here first, and I noticed that most of the booth was marked down on this day, which was very exciting to me, but it was still outside of my budget. But I did enjoy looking at everything. I loved those pantry boxes. I love this firkin right here. It is still on my wish list. It just has to come down in price, but I absolutely love it. Right, this next item, I have been so inspired by another fellow YouTuber that I watch, Miss Susan over at the Old So-and-So, and I'm going to link her in the description box. But she has a cubby very similar to this on her wall that she displays her butter pats and creamers in. So when I saw this, I immediately thought of her. It wasn't quite what I was looking for, but just wait. I do find one later on in the video that I saw that was a little bit better. So I'm so excited. I hope to one day add a cubby like that for something similar to hers. I loved this desk organizer right here. It reminds me very much of the piece that I bought before Christmas, but I thought this would be so pretty a way to display plates and platters. I thought, how creative would this be? Again, kind of how they're doing it here, but I thought this was such a beautiful way to use a piece outside of its intended purpose. So I mentioned it in a previous video that I am on the hunt for a sampler. I just think they are so very, very pretty. I liked this one, but it just was not quite what I was looking for. I absolutely love this piece of furniture. I love the scallop details. It reminds me so much of a bucket shelf, bucket bench. I thought it was beautiful. There's no price on it, so I couldn't even be, halfway tempted by it, but it is an absolutely stunning piece of furniture. I'm not sure what this gorgeous blue piece of furniture is called, but it is absolutely gorgeous. I loved that they had their baskets in there. And as promised, here's that cubby that I told you guys that I absolutely fell in love with. And y'all, I have mentioned this before. How many of y'all hate to see this dreaded tag? That not for sale sticker, I promise you, I dread seeing that thing. I absolutely love that cubby. It would have been absolutely perfect. But again, it's on my wish list and I will get one. I also see these caddies over here, and I thought these would be an awesome way to kind of duplicate that cubby system. So if you were doing like maybe a gallery wall and then incorporated some of these, you can also incorporate not only pretty pictures or platters or plates or whatever you're putting on your gallery wall, but if you had a couple of these, then you can also add some smalls in there. So, again, think outside of the box, think of more of a purpose, and you can really incorporate a lot of things that you love in a beautiful way to display it. And y'all, if you were with me for the last time I shopped in this antique mall, these bowls are still here and I still absolutely love them, but they are marked $20 to $30 a piece, and I just cannot pay that. I would love to have a stack. I want a collection of wooden bowls just like that, and I would want them stacked just like that. But $30 a piece, I can't pay that, y'all. So you guys know that I do not decorate for holidays, but I wanted to include this clip in here because I saw these adorable little Easter bunnies. And again, I don't decorate for Easter, but I think these are so cute. I know a lot of people who watch this channel who also watch some of the other ladies that we like who have the primitive style absolutely go bonkers for these things. And I think they're totally cute. I just don't decorate for Easter or holidays specific, but they were pretty. And then of course I came and looked at these cards, and I absolutely love vintage cards. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you our haul in the car because I need to get home, get these groceries out, and take a nap. I just got a couple things, guys. So I am actually in the process. I am taking down all of my winter decor. I know it's still technically winter, but you know, I am being influenced by all the people I watch on YouTube, and they're already decorating for spring. So being sick for 3 weeks, honestly, I kind of have the itch as well. So I have started clearing out all of my winter decor. I am planning on recording, redecorating, you know, my living room like I did before, with spring touches. So I have said I am not a holiday decorator. I am a seasonal decorator. So I am not going to have Easter decor. I am going to do a spring. So everything that I was looking for today was with spring in mind. And I didn't want to get anything that was like overly like Easter bunnies and stuff like that. That was super holiday specific, and I had to take it down in a week or so. So I'm going to do long term, because then the next thing when I switch over to summer, it'll be my Americana, and that'll stay up through Memorial Day, or Labor Day. Yeah, I don't know, forgive me. I am not feeling well right now, honestly. The grocery store and now the antique mall, it's wiped me out. So I definitely need to get home and lay down and take a nap. So that's definitely in the forecast now. But I want to show you guys what I got. So I did pick up one bunny, but I felt like this is a really pretty wood bunny, and it wasn't specific to me Easter. I felt like it would work really well for spring decor. I just really liked it. I liked the age looking wood, so I did pick this up, and I really think it's cute. And then I also picked up this bag of cards. So I'm thinking, I think vintage cards are so pretty. Obviously this is still taped. I had it in through here to see what's all in here. But I thought these would be really pretty. You can easily, you know, put these around in your decor on the shelves or in different places. But they're just really pretty vintage cards. And I think they're so pretty. These are all, you know, flowers and just really, really pretty florals. So I think this will be easy to incorporate and put in different places. I can see these maybe like standing up on the bookcase, or even in a flower frog. I was looking for flower frogs today. I have seen a lot of people using the ones with the spiky nail looking things, and they'll stand cards up and stuff like this, or the word cards that say spring or stuff like that. I didn't see any, or I would have picked up one because I don't have one, but I think they are super, super cute, and that it's on my wish list now. This last thing is wrapped up really, really well. I almost hate to open it, but I know once I get home, guys, I won't remember to record again, so I need to do it now. But I just picked up this really pretty brass frame, and it already had a pretty bird picture in it. I don't know if I'll keep this one. So what I'm thinking about doing is, I have a small collection of brass photo frames already that I'm thinking about incorporating on the bookshelf, and maybe just, you know, going on Etsy or something like that and printing some pretty spring, you know, florals, or even something like that with birds or butterflies or something like that. I really like florals, so I'm probably going to lean more towards the florals, but I'm thinking about putting those in those brass picture frames and putting those on the bookshelves. And then of course I had to pick up updated books for Virginia. I don't know if you guys have these. I know they have them in every state, but I think these are so helpful, and I like to get the updated ones because they'll have updated if there's new places to go to, or updated hours or anything like that. But I like to have these so that when I'm traveling, I can find an antique store. Now it's so easy. We all have our phones now, and you can easily get on Google search and do it. But maybe I'm a little old school. You know, I still remember having my parents have the paper maps in the back seat, and they'd reach behind the thing and get it out. And so maybe I'm just a little bit older than some of you people watching, but I like to have these paper on hand. I don't know, I like having books. So I like to have these. I keep these in my car so that if I am going somewhere new, I can easily pop up and say, hey, I'm in such and such city. Is there anything here? So I had to pick those up. But that is everything that I picked up at the antique mall. I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog again. I know it was a different one. Completely different experience. Thank y'all so much for your patience. Thank you for being understanding with being sick. I promise I am going to get back into the swing of things, get some more content out. The next thing I think is going to be decorating, because I really do want to get all of that put away. Seeing my shelves empty right now, it's kind of depressing. So in a couple days when I am feeling much better, I do want to start decorating, and I'll definitely record that. And then I also need to go out on the porch, because I have not been out on the porch yet. I still have the winter decor out there with the trees. Now they're not lit up trees, y'all. I don't have Christmas still out there, but I do have winter stuff out on the porch. So I need to get all that down too. So that's the following content that's gonna be coming out. It's gonna be decorating. And then here, with it being March now, usually by the end of March I go out into my garden and I do what I call my late winter cleanup, which is when I clean up all of the the dead stuff from last fall. And then I have perennials, so everything gets cut down to the ground, and then I'll remulch, or this year I'm actually going to compost all of my flower beds just to feed them, and then I'll probably mulch later. But I do need to get the flower beds ready and get them ready for the spring, because I've got so many plants. I'm going to be moving plants, and I'm so excited for spring, y'all. So I want to get over being sick, move forward. I am ready for winter to be over. It has been a wonderful winter. We do love snow, and we have had so much snow this year. It has been wonderful, but we've also been sick for 3 weeks. So I'm ready for spring, y'all. I'm ready for spring. I'm ready to plant. I actually, right back here, if you're not familiar with Stewart's Drive, there is a plant store that I'm going to take you guys to. I am so tempted to go over there, but I know they don't have anything out right now. But they won't get anything until usually the 1st of April is when they start putting out the spring stuff. But I am so ready. Millmont is this place over here that I'm going to take you guys to, but it is the best plant store. When I say I spend time there, y'all, I honestly probably spend more time at Millmont at the nursery than I do at antique malls. But hey, whatever. I am a garden lady. Got someone texting me, sorry. So that is going to wrap up today's video, y'all. Again, thank you so much for your patience today. Thank you so much for sticking with me. If you haven't already, please like this video. If you haven't, I have also noticed most of my viewers aren't subscribers. So please subscribe to the channel. And then if you haven't already, turn on the notification bell so that every time I upload, or if I post to the community chat, because I've been posting there to talk to you guys as well, it'll let you know that I have with your notifications, it'll let you know when I have something updated. So please, if you haven't, subscribe, like, and share. It really does help support this channel, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.